What's up, guys? I'm doing my UFC 245 predictions. Super amped for this card. I think it's gonna be an awesome card, and I think there's a lot of stuff you guys should check out about the card. Even the what's it called? The prelims are dope. Matt Brown versus Ben Saunders. Um, what else is on that card? GF O'Neill versus Mike Price. This is an awesome card, man. But obviously I do predictions on the main card and stuff like that because the main card, man, that is a fire card. But you know, it's dope, man. It's a dope show, man. And it's been awesome. Like I can't wait to do even Korean Zombie versus Brian Ortega is coming up, man. That's gonna be an awesome show. So there's a lot of awesome stuff coming up, man, and I think a lot of people should be excited for this show. I think this could be, show of the year. I could say that, maybe. You never know. There's been a lot of great shows. 240, 241, right? 240 was a great show. 244 was a great show. 239, awesome shows. But let me start off. Even 235 was decent. Start off with the main card opener: Peter Yan versus Uriah Faber. This is a very interesting fight. I really like it. These are two bantamweights going at it. Two legit bantamweights that are finna go at it. One, I think. I doubted Uriah Faber. I doubted him. I really did in that Ricky Simone fight. I did not think he was gonna do it, but he did it. He did it. Actually, did I doubt him? I gotta check the predictions. Maybe I picked Uriah. I don't know, but let's just say I doubted him for popular belief, right? He surprised me. I will say that. Even let's say I did go with Uriah, I was surprised he did that to Ricky. I didn't I didn't think he was gonna stop Ricky or even like knock him down like that. Just like have him on his ass like that. So it's an interesting fight for Uriah. Obviously, I was surprised he picked Peter Yan out of all people. I thought he would have went with maybe Aljamain or who's in the top. I would have went with Marlon. So maybe I was thinking more Aljamain because Aljamain would have welcomed some of the grappling. I think. Peter Yan is no joke, man. He has great takedown defense and implies his Muay Thai striking really well, and he hurts people. But Uriah always has a chance, But man, I don't like using MMA math. But Peter beat Jimmy Rivera, and Jimmy Rivera beat Uriah Faber. So if you look at it like that, you know, Peter Yan's obviously gonna be the favorite. I'm positive he has to be the favorite. If I was to look at what are the odds? I wonder what the odds are for this fight. Are they gonna tell me? Yeah, Peter Yan's a favorite. Yeah, 12-1. Fucking, you know. Oh, both same reach. These guys are gonna be there. They're evenly matched. But yeah, Peter Yan. And one thing I like about Peter is in the Jimmy Rivera fight. He wasn't winning. I tell people he was not winning that fight, and I think in the first round, I thought after the first round, obviously it's the first round, but like I thought Jimmy might take it. I was like, man, Jimmy's doing really good, and I thought he was gonna stop the hype with this kid, but man, Peter had that killer mindset, and he took advantage of it and just stopped him. You know what this reminds me of? A lot of Chris Weidman, Dominic Reyes. Peter Yan, I haven't seen, I haven't been too impressed. I was impressed with the Jimmy Rivera fight, but I seen like, I don't want to say I see holes, but I don't see this Cejudo killer. I don't see this guy that could beat Cejudo. I think Cejudo could handle him. With all due respect, I think even Aljamain would give this guy a really good fight. But he has something to him. He has this. He does have talent, and he is winning. But it feels like this win could solidify a title shot for him, but because it's a big name. But Uriah, he's like damn near fucking 40. Like, I'm not sure about his age, but he's not, he's not what he used to be. With all due respect, maybe he could prove me wrong again, but I don't think this is a good matchup for Uriah. He shouldn't. He should have never came back. I don't know. Things catch up to you. You gotta respect the game. That's one thing you always gotta do. You gotta respect the game. You gotta respect people like Peter Yan that are out here grinding for a title shot. That with all due respect, Uriah, who has had 3 of them at bantamweight. All right. If you want to look at it for real. So, I'm gonna have to go Peter Yan in this one. It's very simple, but hey, Uriah has really good guillotines. His jiu-jitsu is really, really good. Rear naked chokes, man. He that's one thing you can't take away from his goddamn fucking jiu-jitsu, man. He's not necessarily his wrestling. His wrestling is a little, I think, overrated. I think he wrestled in college or whatever. He's never implied it that good in MMA, but the way he can finish in jiu-jitsu, man, it's impressive. So I feel like, I see the fight, Uriah attempting takedowns and Peter Yan's stuffing him and just hurting him. Next fight on the card is a very hard one for me to watch. I've been a big fan of Jose Aldo for a long time, man. I like the guy, man. I really, really do. First clip I ever saw him on YouTube was when he knocked out Cub Swanson. It was like I used to replay it over and over. I was like, man, how did he do that? It came out of nowhere, the knee. I thought he was gonna go up. I thought he got bored with so when he fought Volkanovski, it felt like he didn't want to be there. It felt like, I don't know, maybe I don't know where his mind is going, but even if he beat Volkanovski, it's not like he's gonna get a 3rd title shot against fucking Max Holloway, who beat him twice. So I don't want to say he was like he didn't want to be there. Obviously, he signed, he signed the contract. He did the 6-week training camp. He did fight this guy. So, but what I saw was a guy that didn't want to be there. He was getting pushed around the cage. He was very submissive. He didn't let his hands go. He didn't resist some of those grappling situations. He didn't use his movement. Like, he didn't do what Aldo did. Like, and besides, like, I've accepted the fact he's not going to throw any more leg kicks. I've accepted that. That's just not in his arsenal no more. But Aldo, he doesn't get enough credit for this, but has great head movement in boxing. And the way he uses his distance to cut angles, he just didn't do that in that fight. But, Marlon, same guy, very disappointed in him. Even though I was picking Cejudo to beat him, he was one guy that, I don't want to say disappointed me, but like, just didn't perform like I never saw him losing that way against Cejudo. That to me, like, that performance, Cejudo, it needs, like, that was the other definition of greatness, what he did in that fight. The first round, I know everyone wants to give Marlon a lot of credit for that first round. Wasn't a devastating round. It seemed like he was leading the pace and was dictating the way the fight was gonna go. It felt like it would lead up to a knockout, but you don't get credit for setting something up but not accomplishing. Even in wrestling, I could set up a great move, but if I don't accomplish it, you don't get the credit for it. So he didn't set up what he wanted to do, and Cejudo, what a sprained foot, by the way. People forget he had a sprained foot. That's why he really couldn't impose his wrestling. Broke him. He broke him. There's no other way of looking. He broke him. He didn't, like, people talk about how he got tired, this or that. These guys, like, no. It's not that he he made him tired, you know what I'm saying? He broke, like, I don't want to talk about it. But, like, Marlon, besides you take away the Cejudo loss, knocked out Rafael Santos. Didn't knock him, he submitted him. Knocked out Jimmy Rivera. Oh man, he had Aljamain Sterling doing the dab, dude. Like, you gotta watch that. That's a crazy knockout. So, you got two, and same thing with Aldo. beat Renato Moicano, had that awesome body shot against Jeremy Stevens. Even before that, beat Frankie Edgar in a 5-round fight. Um, you know, these are two very explosive guys. They're gonna go at it, and basically, I just see if they were at 100%, what you're gonna see is who can outlast who. That's what this fight's gonna be about. If Aldo was at 100%, I would have gone with Aldo because due to experience and he's been there before. But the fact that he's fighting at bantamweight, it's such a it creates fiction with me, to decide who do I go with, and I'm gonna have to go Marlon, and I think Marlon's gonna catch him, and I'm not gonna enjoy watching this. I just don't. I really This is another one. I feel like Marlon is just getting a free W, almost. But at the end of the day, it's MMA. Anything could happen. I shouldn't say people don't get free Ws. That's not how it works. It's not like boxing. It's kind of, but it saddens me that he could lose like that, man. But if he wins, man, all to him. But if he loses, it's not gonna be good. It's not something I'd enjoy watching. Then you got Amanda Nunes versus Germaine Randamine. I'm gonna make this quick. I'm going Amanda Nunes. I respect Germaine Randamine. She beat Holly Holm, Raquel Pennington, Aspen Ladd. She has 3 decent wins. A streak going on with her. But usually, I always go with the person that beat you the first time in the rematch. They usually have your number. For example, Cody Garbrandt with TJ Dillashaw. I just had his number. I went to Kevin Lee. Just those kind of things. Even Donald Cerrone, Rafael dos Anjos, when they fought for the lightweights. Just guys have your number sometimes. And I think Amanda has your number. Don't be surprised. Amanda, this might go 5 rounds. She'll mix it up. Mixing takedowns. Don't forget she's a Brazilian black belt. She's gonna mix it up. Now, Germaine, she does apply really, really. She's an awesome striker. Don't ever people don't. She's long. She's rangy. Don't get it twisted. People have tried to impose that game plan with her. Try to mix down takedowns. I thought she lost the Holly fight, to be honest, but it is what it is. But let's lose the Raquel Pennington fight. I guess is the best example of her improvement, and really that's where you should look at for this fight, because I feel like that's what if Amanda does do that game plan, Amanda could just go knock her the fuck out, which would be crazy. But she stopped all of Raquel Pennington's takedowns. She did not let Raquel impose her game. She stopped it, got her distance, and then put Raquel in the back foot and applied a jab and just hurt Raquel. She just owned Raquel that day. That's if you really want to judge Germaine de Randamine. I don't look at that Aspen Ladd fight. I think if you want to be honest, I think Aspen Ladd had a bad weight cut, and it's not because the weight cutting in the UFC is a problem or whatever. No, it's because she didn't do it right. And the fact that she went, I don't know if she succeeded, but to complain about whatever happened to her, she didn't do the proper weight cut. They were concerned, so if they stop the fight, do that, I have no issue with that. I feel like, personally, she waited near the end of her weight cut to get it done, but let's not talk about that. It's over, it's over. No matter what, she got knocked down. Germaine de Randamine proved that she was the superior striker. But with that fight, even when they matched that fight up, it's like you got a newcomer going up against a former champion. Let's put some respect on Germaine de Randamine's name. All respect to Aspen Ladd, but Tonya Evinger, Sijara Eubanks, and who else? Tonya did fight for a title, and Sijara is a prominent. I thought she was gonna contend for a flyweight title in the future, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. So I wasn't really impressed with her wins going into that fight. I think I feel like, I don't know. She looked kind of cool being on Tonya Evinger like that. So it is what it is. What really would have impressed me if she fought Holly Holm. She was supposed to fight Holly, and she beat her. Then I would have said maybe she could contend. But she didn't beat Germaine, and she lost. And I'm going to Amanda Nunes in this one. But Germaine has a chance. Everyone has a chance. But Jermaine has a legit chance. Let me put some respect on Jermaine's name. She could do something, but she lost the first time, so I'm going with Amanda in this one. That's just my primary reason. Then you got Max Holloway, Volkanovski. I'm actually gonna surprise people with this. I picked against Volkanovski when he fought against Chad Mendes. I picked him against him when he fought Aldo. So what I've noticed, Aldo, I don't really look at it because I didn't think he had someone to beat. I look at that Chad Mendes fight more. I was really impressed with him. When you talk about killer instinct, and when you're down under the cards and prevailing over that and just pursuing your opponent and just keep on going and winning the fight, that is the pure definition of Volkanovski. He got rocked. I think the fight is on. Go to UFC's channel, check that fight out. I think it's a free fight. He was losing that fight. Man, Chad had so many great positions. He knocked them down. He got his back. Chad was, don't get it twisted. Chad quits sometimes when he gets tired or whatever. It is what it is. But, man, Volkanovski got up and put the pressure on. And Chad is no joke, man. I thought Chad beat Aldo the second time. Just things didn't go his way. But he's a great featherweight. He's one of the pioneers, dude. He doesn't get enough credit. Of that division, but and Max, he looked great against Frankie. But I always said somebody like Chad and Frankie are gonna be like the short, stocky wrestlers are gonna be Max. So I thought Frankie was gonna do it. He didn't get to do it because he didn't get to impose his game plan. Chad never fought Max, so that's never gonna happen. But you look at someone like a Volkanovski, he has a really similar frame with those two. And what I saw with the Aldo fight, even though I didn't think Aldo wanted to be there, a guy that could press you against the fence, a guy that wasn't scared of imposing those grappling situations, a guy that was willing to use that as his rest time, a pressure fighter, a short, stocky pressure fighter. And I think, and if you look at, I know this is different, but look at Dennis Bermudez and Conor McGregor, those two fights. They imposed a wrestling game plan. Even Dustin Poirier imposed a wrestling game plan, a pressure game plan against Max. But these are two that was a different Max Holloway back then, so you don't want to use that. But I'm just saying, just put that in your head. I think Volkanovski has the tools to beat him, and also got to look at. I know weight is weight, but he used to be a 230-pound fucking rugby player, man. I think is it 30 or is either 30 or 205, right? I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the video again that they were talking about that. But yeah, he was a big boy back then, and I think Volkanovski beats Max Holloway. Yeah. And I like Max, man. He's a great fucking champion. And I kind of want to see Max at lightweight. So I kind of want him to lose. But yeah, man, I think Max is awesome. There's still a lot of great fights for Max. Him versus Zabit would be an awesome fight. But that's it, man. That's the next one I can think of. I honestly want to see like a Max Holloway versus Tony Ferguson, or a Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje, or a Max Holloway versus Conor McGregor, or a Max Holloway versus Khabib. I want to see him in these situations. I feel like he's cemented himself as one of the greatest featherweight champions of all time. I can't put him as the GOAT. A lot of people might disagree with me for that, but I can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. So yeah. But next fight is Kumar Usman versus Colby Covington. This is an interesting one. Because who can impose their game plan better than the other? That's what this fight's going to be about. And I think if I was to say, I'm gonna go Colby Covington, but I'll tell you why, and I'll give credit to Kumar Usman and what he's accomplished in the division. Usman, First time I ever seen him fight when he fought Emil Mick. Even though it was a close fight, I was impressed by his wrestling pressure. Fought Damian Maia, 5 round fight. I there was a weird situation with Damian Maia and Usman, but Usman dominated that fight. Um, then he fights, in my opinion, the most impressive performance I've ever seen him have was the Dos Anjos fight. I think more people need to watch that Dos Anjos fight to really understand how good Usman is. Usman has great boxing fundamentals, has great wrestling pressure. When he in it's when you look at Colby and Usman's wrestling, they're two different wrestling kind of pressures, and I'll explain it later. And then what he did to Dos Anjos is because he stood with him and he threw shots with him and he wasn't scared. I know Dos Anjos is a lightweight, but he's a top 5 welterweight. You can't disrespect that. And then he fights Woodley, and I know a lot of people think that's the most impressive one. When I saw what happened to Woodley, I wasn't too surprised because I seen him do it against Roy McDonald. It's just I don't want to say quitting is in Woodley's middle name, but when things get hard for Tyron, he kind of wilts under that pressure. He's not a needle. He's more of a hammer. That's how I'll say it. So I was more impressed with the Dos Anjos victory than the Woodley victory because I didn't think he was gonna do that to Dos Anjos. I thought Dos Anjos learned his lesson from Colby, and I thought he was gonna beat him. So I was really impressed with that. What he's really, and let's give Usman a lot of credit. Let's put some respect because he's a champ. He has the kind of wrestling pressure he has because if you look at his wrestling career, and I have to do a little more research on it, but I'm pretty sure he didn't. I think he wrestled D2, and he continued to do. He tried to go to the Olympics, and he did more freestyle. That's where he kind of separates from Colby. A lot of people think, oh, he's the better wrestler. Not necessarily the better wrestler. He's the stronger wrestler. And a lot of people don't understand what that means. Is because I've wrestled before, and I did 4 years in wrestling. I'm not as good as these guys, but I wrestled before, and I've done freestyle and folk style. Freestyle, and the reason why freestyle and folk style are two, and Usman did both, but I feel like I see more of a freestyle approach to him than folk style, and people might disagree, but what I noticed with Usman's wrestling style is he picks guys up. He picks them up and he slams them. Just slams them. And that's freestyle. Freestyle is a lot of throwing, slamming, and then you have the guy on the ground. If you don't pin him, you only have him on the ground for 3 seconds and they tell you to get up. It's more about the art of throwing in freestyle. You can do stuff where you can grab wrists, or you can hold on to your arms a little longer on the ground. You can have like a gable grip when you're on the ground. In folk style, you can't do that. You have to have both hands separated, and it's a lot of other stuff in folk style. But in folk style, if it's more, the difference between folk style and freestyle is there's more focus on top and bottom, and riding and stuff like that, like those riding games or whatever, and keeping your person down or trying to get up. It's the get up points. Those are really important when you're on bottom. But freestyle is more of a worldly accepted wrestling in the world. That's why you see it in the Olympics. But Yoel Romero is a great freestyle wrestler. But what's one thing Yoel has a great, if you notice it, has a big problem with, is keeping guys on the ground. He can pick you up and slam you. Even if you look at the Costa fight, he got 2 takedowns, and Costa just got right back up. Because Yoel's, in his whole entire wrestling life, never really focused on keeping guys down. Just keeping them down there. And in folk style, you do that. That's why you see more successful folk style wrestlers in MMA than I shouldn't say, because everyone in wrestling, I think they do it because it's an off-season sport, freestyle usually. Because folk style is more in high school and stuff like that. So, everyone does it. But people that primarily did folk style, like if like folk styles in college too. Like if you did folk style in college, like someone like a Ben Askren or like a Johnny Hendricks, like, you know, even though he didn't see enough of his wrestling impose their game plan, you know, you see more successful folk style wrestlers in MMA. That's my point. And that's where we go to Colby. Colby's strengths is his pace and his technique. He doesn't use a lot of strength in his wrestling. There's a difference. Like Usman picks you up. You know, obviously don't get it twisted. He has great technique, but he has more oomph to his takedowns than Colby. Colby kind of he uses more technique to get you down there, and it might not look that cool, but like you look how he grabs the wrists, and like when he has like basically if Usman had your back, right, he would freaking suplex you. Now, if Colby had your back, he would kind of drag you down to the side. Like, he'd drag you, he'd cut an angle and drag you to the side. That's just the difference in wrestling, you know? And, it's levels to this shit, dude. It's levels to this shit. But, you know, that's what really kind of separates them. But Colby has a D1 level of folk style wrestling. He continued, but I don't think he ever tried to pursue the Olympics like Usman. I don't know if Colby ever did freestyle, but I would say Usman's the better freestyle wrestler. I would put my money on Usman being the better freestyle. Now, the better folk style wrestler, I wouldn't know. And I think we're going to find out who's just the better fighter overall, because they're going to fight, and I fucking love it. But, yeah, let's talk about Colby. You know, Colby's pace. He has great pace. And the way he can dictate a fight, man. He can really just dictate a freaking fight. And he can just put it on you, man. He just has an unrelenting pace. Like Usman, he picks you up and he breaks you. You know, he breaks you and then he doesn't need to work after that. Colby breaks you but continues to work. It's like insane. Like, people don't understand what I'm saying. Like the rapid amount of strikes he throws at you, it's insane. Like, he doesn't have to do that. Like, he can just keep you and lay. Like, Usman will lay on you. Colby will work. Now, Colby will lay on you too, but like Colby will work. Like, right when they get back. First scenarios. You look at the situation with Robbie and Colby, and then look at the Usman and Woodley fight, and you when they were exchanging with each other. Look at the Woodley and Usman in the third round, where they're exchanging with each other. Usman's hands got tired. You know, if you've ever done a boxing class, man, your hands are just gonna get tired. When you throw your hands at that level, your hands are gonna get tired, and the lactic acid builds up, right? You know, it's a different kind of pace, and I think Usman is the better technical boxer. If you look at his stance, he reminds me a lot of Rashad Evans in that case, where he's just has better like boxing fundamentals, because he showed it against Woodley. He didn't go crazy. I thought at that moment he might get knocked out for playing that game. But yeah, I thought he could have got knocked out if he was playing that game. But the thing with Usman is when he felt like his arms were getting a little tired, he went for the takedown. Colby, he continued to throw with Robbie. You know what that tells me? Usman builds up more lactic acid in his arms when he throws than Colby, because Colby's used to throwing that, because he's not throwing with all he can throw. Usman has the bigger power, but he's not. It might be a to default because he's not offensively minded like Colby, but he's more defensively minded than Colby, if you know what I'm saying. He cares more about his chin, because Colby, his striking style, if you look at it fairly, it's more kickboxing oriented. I think he's a kickboxing fan. I'm not positive, but I feel like he is, and that he's more offensively minded. That's where I could see Colby getting. Woodley was. I was scared for Colby. If he fought Wood, I really thought Woodley would have clipped him, like just straight Josh Koscheck style, like sat his ass down. Like, look at that knockout. That's a great knockout, by the way. But yeah, you know, so Usman is the stronger wrestler. Colby's the better technical wrestler. That's where the issue. Who has the better pace? If Usman gets his thing on, Usman will have a good pace. But Colby if you put him in a scramble, basically Colby edges him out in pace, but it's different kind of pace. Like if Colby's in the back foot, which we've never seen him, I think Colby would endure that. But Usman would be fine. He wouldn't get tired for putting too much pressure on Colby. You know what I'm saying? So I think in terms of pace, you have to give it to Colby. You just have to. Usman has a great pace, but he doesn't have it like it's just levels to this. But who's the better, stronger wrestler? Yeah, Usman's the stronger wrestler. Who's the technical wrestler? And Colby, you see it. Watch wrestling matches. I saw it at State all the time. Not the strongest guy. A lot of guys that do football did wrestling, and they're super athletic and strong. But the guy with the most technique can still beat them because there's a lack of technique. So I think Colby will have the better technique than Usman. So, I see this fight going. I think they'll wrestle each other for a minute, but when they start standing, Usman's gonna try to knock him out, and I think he's gonna get his arms tired. Unless he catches Colby, I think he's gonna get his arms tired, and then Colby's gonna dictate the fight, and that's why I just see Colby winning, man. I know a lot of y'all hate Colby. I respect Colby's grind, and if you understand what I'm saying, it's all a gimmick, man. If you watch pro wrestling, it is what it is. I think you guys are smart enough. He was gonna get cut after the Damian Maya fight, so he had to do what he had to do. That's why I respect Colby, and I respect Usman, man. I'm African. I'm from Eritrea, so I know he's from Nigeria, but Africa stand up. I rooted for him against Woodley. I won. I didn't have no problem with him winning, so it's gonna be an awesome fight. You guys should check it out, man. I'm got 31 minutes. Fuck, bro. I gotta get the fuck out of here. All right, see y'all.